In every human journey, few things show up as persistently as suffering. We meet it in our first failures, in the loss of loved ones, in the shattering of dreams, in every anxious moment about the future. From childhood, we're taught to avoid it, to push it away, to treat it like an enemy. But as we grow, as life leaves its marks on us, we discover a deeper truth. Suffering is not our enemy. It is an inseparable part of growth, of character, of inner strength. If we pause and listen, suffering becomes the quiet teacher delivering life's most important lessons. Stoic philosophy, born more than 2,000 years ago, wasn't designed to make us run from pain. It was built to help us stay steady and peaceful inside pain. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote in his Meditations that what harms us isn't the event itself, but how we see the event. Epictetus, once a chained slave, became one of the greatest Stoic teachers because he learned to see suffering not as an enemy, but as an opportunity to train the soul. Stoicism doesn't promise an easy life. It offers a way to become stronger within a hard one. Suffering, when understood, is a mirror. When everything goes smoothly, we rarely see the full reach of our patience or courage. Only when we walk through hardship do we discover who we really are, what truly matters to us. Pain is like fire. It can destroy, but it can also refine. Someone who runs from fire stays in the dark. Someone who learns to use it gains light and warmth. Suffering works the same way. It doesn't automatically make us better, but if we learn to work with it, it becomes the raw material of resilience. Think back to your hardest moments. At the time, you might have cried, despaired, felt as if life collapsed. Yet with distance, you can see that each painful experience taught you patience, empathy, the ability to stand back up. Suffering teaches you to appreciate simple joys, to care about others, to never belittle someone else's pain. No classroom teaches as deeply as pain does. Stoicism reminds us, you can't control every event, but you can always choose your response. When suffering arrives, uninvited, unwelcome, if you treat it like an enemy, you'll fight, resist, exhaust yourself. If you treat it like a teacher, you'll learn, adapt, grow. That's the difference between a fearful mind and a steady mind. Just as an athlete treats each tough workout not as an enemy, but as a chance to build strength, you can treat each hardship as training for the soul. People often ask, how do I stop suffering? The Stoic answer is, you don't. Suffering is built into being human. The real question is, how do I stop letting suffering control me? Once you see it not as an enemy, but as a signal, a test, the panic fades. You move through it, learn from it, and let it pass. You don't cling, you don't run. You observe and you grow. This doesn't mean you have to like pain or go looking for it. No one wishes for loss, failure, or illness. But when these things come, and they will, a Stoic attitude turns them into fertilizer for inner strength. You practice stepping out of the swirl of emotion, watching events like a calm witness, acting from clarity instead of panic. You discover you can endure more than you imagined. You discover the power of stillness in the storm. And here's something almost magical. The moment you stop treating suffering as an enemy, it loses much of its power over you. Fear eases, anger softens, your mind clears. You act not from rage or dread, but from wisdom and compassion. You judge others less harshly, knowing everyone carries some hidden pain. You blame yourself less, understanding failure is part of the path. You become more humane, more grounded. In a world overflowing with pressure, information, and comparison, The Stoic stance is a lighthouse. It whispers, don't pray for an easier life. Pray to be a stronger person. Each time you hit a wall, instead of asking, why me, you can ask, what can I learn here? That question shifts you from victim to student. Suffering stops being an enemy and starts being a teacher. Remember, every beautiful flower must push up through soil and weather rain. Every strong piece of steel is tempered by fire. People are the same. Suffering doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to shape you into a deeper, steadier version of yourself. When you see this, you stop running, stop drowning. You greet it calmly, learn what you can, and move forward stronger. This isn't just theory, it's something you can live. When an everyday annoyance arises, pause, breathe, and tell yourself, here's a chance to practice patience. When a relationship ends, instead of despair, ask, what am I learning about myself, about love, about letting go? When work fails, instead of blaming, treat it as a test of your adaptability and creativity. Every painful moment becomes a classroom. You're the student who keeps advancing. Over time, this way of seeing nourishes inner freedom. Your joy no longer depends only on smooth circumstances. Your peace no longer exists only in quiet times. You become like a pine tree in the wind. You don't avoid the storm, but your roots hold firm. This is the real freedom Stoicism points to. Freedom from fear, from rage, from clinging to what you can't control. Suffering is not your enemy. It is part of the human journey. When you meet it with curiosity instead of hostility, you step into a new depth of life where every experience, pleasant or painful, carries meaning and shapes who you are. And when you share this understanding, you help others feel less afraid, less alone in their pain. So open your heart to suffering, not to invite it, but to stop fearing it. Let each challenge become a stepping stone upward. Let pain teach you kindness, endurance, wisdom. And whenever you feel yourself falling, remember the Stoic truth. It isn't what happens to you that harms you, but how you see it. Change your view, and you change your life. Suffering is not your enemy. It's your lesson. It's your teacher. It's the raw material of your character. When you realize that, you're no longer a victim of life. You're a student of life, a student who grows wiser, freer, and more at peace.